Alright guys, what's up? I have another revelation for you. One of the things to help you guys grow in your revelational understanding in the Bible is that the whole Bible is literally prophecy. It's hidden. It's not hidden, it's right in front of you, but you just have to learn to see it. And one of the things you need to know is what numbers mean. So the Hebrew understanding for numbers like 4 is a number for door, 7 is a number for divine completion, 6 is the number for man, 5 is the number for grace, 1 is a number for strength, it kind of symbolizes God, 2 is division, 3 is divine order, and so on. 11 is chaos, and 12 is governmental divine order. 12 hints, the 12 tribes of Israel at the end. And the 12th letter of the alphabet is L, which E-L spells L, and L means God. And God is, represents divine governmental order that will be at the end of the 6,000 year period. So understanding what numbers mean, like 8 means new beginnings. That's why Noah and 7 other people got on the boat for a total of 8. God wiped out the world. And then he started again. So you have the number 8, new beginnings. It also means symbolic of like a timeless eternity, right? The 8, is kind of like it's a never-ending cycle, right? So this is also for like the 8th day and stuff like this. So that really helps you. Also looking up the definitions of the names of people. Sometimes there's hidden wisdom there. There's always hidden mysteries everywhere. So knowing numbers, looking up definitions, of course numeric values of things, seeing patterns. But another way is to see types and shadows of the future. And that's what I'm going to be going over with you right now real quick in something that was revealed to me as I was reading. So if you want to know the end, God declares the end from the beginning. So you have the book of Revelations, which is the beginning, and you have the book of Genesis, which even means beginnings, and then you have the book of Revelation, which is the end. So Revelation means revealing, right? So Isaiah 46:10 says God declares the end, which is the book of Revelation, from the beginning, the book of Genesis. So the book of Genesis is just a real gem. I've found so many things that I've done videos on in the past that are revelational, that are all about the end times. And I'm going to show you another one of those things today. Something that I haven't shown before. So first off, we know we're working with the 6,000 year period here. Of course, the number 6 is a number for man. Okay? And at the end of the 6,000 years, then Jesus Christ comes back and we go into the 7,000th year, which is symbolic of the 7th day, because we know a day is as 1,000 years to the Lord. There were 6 days of creation, hence 6,000 years, and then the 7th day God rested, and that will be the 1,000-year millennium reign, Christ on earth, and God will, in a sense, rest, right? He will dwell and tabernacle with man. So you have 6,000 years, God comes back, and then the 1,000 years. Symbolic of the 6 days and then the 7th day of creation. So we all get that. And then, of course, in Genesis chapter 6, verse 3, which is 18. 6 times 3 is 18. That's 666, the number of a man. Also in chapter 6, right? Genesis chapter 6. And the prophecies about God and man. And it says that God's spirit will not strive with man forever, for his years shall be 120. So that prophecy is talking about jubilees. So 120 jubilees, right? 120 times 50, because there are 50 years in a jubilee, equals 6,000. 6,000 years that God's spirit will contend with man. See, because when Adam ate the fruit, then he let in Lucifer's light, the artificial light. I've gone over that. And from that year, 6,000 years is 2026. Then you have 3.5 years. And so this is the 6,000 year period that we are working with. Now for the revelation. So, in the book of Genesis, which means the beginnings, we know God declares the end from the beginning. He does it all throughout the Bible, over and over and over, all kinds of things. So, Jacob has two wives, right? Leah, and there's a lot to the story, but I just kind of want to break it down to the revelation I see. And Rachel, okay? And really, to tell you the truth, to go do a little things on the stories, he wanted Rachel at first. He loved her a lot. In fact, it says that he liked Rachel more than Leah. And so he had to work 7 years for her dad, which was Laban, and then he would get Rachel. So when he worked 7 years, the dad gave him Leah, and then he laid with Leah, and he's like, hey, wait a second, I wanted Rachel. So he had to work another 7 years for Rachel, right? So he ended up getting them both. He had to work 14 years. Again, that 14 is very prophetic, because if you start from the 2015 blood moon tetrad, which is the Shemitah 2015, and you go 14 years, you come to 2029. It's the Shemitah pattern that I've been showing you. But it also says, one revelation is that the dad said why he did that is because in their custom or whatever, it is not for the younger one to come first, but the older one to come first, and then after that, the younger one. So Rachel was the younger one, Leah was the older one. The dad and their customs, he said he gave him Leah first because the older goes first, but then Rachel comes second because she's the younger. So here's the interesting thing, is that in the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 9, it says that Esau, which is the older brother, is the end of the world now. And Jacob is that which followeth. So the older goes first, Esau, now, and then it's Jacob's turn in the millennium, 1,000 years. So that's an amazing revelation, just like Leah went first with Jacob, right? That's what the dad set up, and then Rachel came second. But God liked Rachel more, just like Rachel would be a picture of Jacob, right? God loving Jacob, and Leah, which was hated, but not totally by like Jacob and everything like that. But it says that she was hated. And Leah would be a picture of Esau. And it says God hated Esau, but he loved Jacob. So Rachel would be a picture of the younger one, Jacob, who he loved more than the older one, Leah, which is Esau. You see, so that's one part of this revelation. That's amazing to me. And the older one goes first, which is Esau, 2nd Esdras 6:9, which again, 2nd Esdras was in the King James Bible. It was taken out. I have it over here. But Leah goes first, which is a picture of Esau, and Rachel comes after Jacob. Right? Jacob is Rachel, right? A picture of that. So it's really amazing revelation. But another part to this revelation in Genesis is that Rachel couldn't have kids. Okay? Jacob tried to have kids with Rachel. God shut up her womb. She couldn't have kids. Right? She couldn't multiply. So then he went to Leah. And Leah ended up having exactly 6 kids. 6 kids, and then she said, and now my husband will be with me or want me. Right? After 6 kids. And then after her 6th kid, the last kid she had, Rachel, God opened up Rachel's womb, and she had 2 kids. Okay? But she didn't have 2 at once right there like that. It says right after the 6th kid, she had the first kid, which was Joseph. This is amazing revelation, okay? It was Joseph, the first kid that she had after Leah's 6 kids was Joseph, which is Rachel's first kid. So you see this? 6,000 years, 6 kids, right? And then the 7,000th year which is Rachel's first kid, is Joseph, which is a picture of Jesus. Joseph is always a picture of Jesus in the Old Testament. Everybody knows that who studies the Bible and all this stuff. This is amazing because this is what a lot of people read the stories and they think they're just mundane stories and you can learn like life lessons, and you can kind of, but like back then they had more than one wife, so you're not supposed to do that today, but a little different I guess back then. But those are not mundane stories. God didn't just throw like random stories in there and random names and random numbers. They all have prophetical significance. And these are a couple things in the story of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, when the 12 tribes were created. This is some of the prophecy. Is that Leah was the older one that came first with the 6 kids, which is symbolic of 6,000 years. And Leah is symbolic of Esau, the older child that comes first. And it says she was hated. Not fully hated, but hated. And Esau, the Bible says God hates Esau. Right? So that's a picture of 6,000 years, the number of man. And then comes Rachel, the younger one, which is a picture of Jesus. Picture of Jacob. Right? Because first Esau, then Jacob. 2 Ezra 6:9. It says that Esau will be the end of the world, and Jacob is that which followeth. And so Rachel is a picture of Jacob. Leah is a picture of Esau, the elder. Rachel, the younger. And Rachel's first kid is named Joseph. After the 6,000 years, the 1,000 years, Joseph comes along, which is Jesus. And then later on, her second kid is Benjamin, which is the youngest. Which, that is a picture. Joseph, Jesus, Benjamin, the Apostle Paul. Dispensation of grace. And also one thing to note is that Benjamin also represents the 8th day. Because Rachel had actually 2 kids, but Benjamin came later. And that is because he represents the 8th day, which is like eternity after the 7,000 years. So that is what all these stories are in there. And again, the wider of a variety of knowledge that you have, meanings of numbers, just all around knowledge of everything in the Bible, then you'll start to, and somebody actually telling you, hey, look, these stories, look for the formulas in there. Because we know that God declares the end from the beginning in Isaiah 46:10. So if that's true, we should find the end in the beginning. The book of Genesis is literally called the beginning. And we do. And again, Jesus said it would be as the days of Noah. So that's in Genesis chapter 6. So if we want to know what happens at the end, look in Genesis chapter 6 for some things. But really look in the whole book of Genesis for things. For the end days here. Right? And a lot of people like to talk about the fallen angels in Genesis chapter 6, which 6 is the number of man. And the giants. And those are subjects that I first started on too that are true. But it's deeper. There's more there. There's a whole bunch there. So I just wanted to share this revelation with you guys. Working with the 6,000 year period. Time is almost up. What can I say? Just do your best,